And in a recent poll, as you well know, Governor Romney beating President Obama by 2 points, your father down by 1 point, both results obviously within the margin of error. That has got to be as well, it's got to be exciting for you to see that kind of potential performance against the man ultimately that a Republican will be running against.
Yeah, do you think maybe some of these pundits on TV that keep saying Ron Paul can't win would look at the polls and see that only Ron Paul and Mitt Romney are able to compete with the president right now? And when you poll Ron Paul against President Obama, Ron Paul beats him by 7 points among independents, and yet every pundit on TV is like, oh, Ron Paul can't win. Well, maybe we shouldn't start with the conclusion. We ought to look at the numbers first.
Also this, Ron Paul came in second, and some say that that's perfectly okay with you, that you don't worry about Ron Paul.
Well, I think Ron Paul's a very serious candidate. He's shown that he can get a good deal of support. He did so in Iowa. He's done so in New Hampshire now with a very strong finish. I'm looking to be able to post up against Ron Paul as well and hopefully be successful.
Joined now by Ron Paul man, Jesse Benson. So a good night for you guys. Must be feeling pretty happy.
Oh, we're ecstatic. What a victory for us tonight. We've consolidated this down into a two-man national race. Now we're the conservative constitutional alternative to Mitt Romney. And like Dr. Paul said, we're coming in, we're nipping at his heels. So we're going to be rolling down there tomorrow. We're going to have a great rally. We've got a wonderful program. We've got great mail. We're going to pump in some great TV, grassroots. We're going to carry the momentum that we're carrying from New Hampshire down to the Palmetto State, and we're going to do very well. And again, as people coalesce behind Ron Paul as the only serious alternative to the establishment mainstream candidate Mitt Romney, we're going to see a surge in momentum. You can guarantee that.
But do you think there are some lessons for the Republican Party in the rise of Ron Paul?
Well, I'm glad you asked about it, because I think one of the things that's hurt the so-called conservative alternatives is saying derogatory things about Ron Paul. I don't agree with him on everything, but he's right about the out-of-control and unaccountable Federal Reserve. He's right about the need for limited constitutional government and the importance of individual liberty. And what I'd like to see is a Republican Party that embraces a lot of the libertarian ideas.
So this is what we have to do. We have to cut the spending. This is why I have made a token suggestion. In the first year of office, we would cut at least $1 trillion from the budget. And that is why you have to think about the cutting and stopping the inflation. But overall, you have to ask, once again, as our founders did, what should the role of government be in a free society? The role should be very simple: the protection of liberty. You know, so often they say that if we tell people that we think we should spend less in the military, they say, oh, that means you want to cut defense. No, if you cut the military-industrial complex, you cut war profiteering, but you don't take 1 penny out of national defense.
All right, Ron, I want to thank you for being with us. Congratulations on the strong showing last night. And when you come back next time, I would love to talk about what the Congress can do over the next year to make sure we don't add another $1 trillion in debt like we did in 2011. I don't think that's why a lot of conservatives voted for their conservative members back in the 2010 elections.
Yeah, Joe, what they need is a backbone. That's what they need, and they need to wake up, and the people need to wake up the Congress so they act more properly.
But I sort of have to chuckle when they describe you and me as being dangerous. That's one thing, they are telling the truth, because we are dangerous to the status quo of this country.